This is KMJ at KMJnow.com or wherever you stream. Welcome to the Marc Kapetan Show. This is attorney Marc Kapetan, your host. Today's show is brought to you by the Kapetan Brothers Law Firm. We've been serving the Central Valley since 1995. If you or anybody you know has been injured in an auto accident, a truck accident, or a motorcycle accident, give us a call at 559-498-8000, or if you've been arrested or cited for a criminal offense, call us at 559-498-8000. Kapetan Brothers. We are the Valley's law firm. Hey, folks, we want to thank our sponsor for today's show, Arc Mediterranean Grill. Delicious. I say delicious Mediterranean food, authentic Armenian goodness. There's 2 locations, one in Fresno and one in Clovis. Take the office for lunch or maybe get some takeout for the family for dinner. Arc Mediterranean Grill in Fresno and Clovis. Thanks, you guys, for sponsoring the Marc Kapetan Show. Folks, we have another of our series of Meet the KMJ family. Hailing from the Central Valley and relocating to Dallas, Texas, my next guest spent the past couple of decades in the Lone Star State, perfecting his Texas accent and chowing down on barbecue, right?
That's it.
His radio career was partly spent working with Texas radio legends, as he calls them, Bo Roberts and Jim White. We'll find out all about him. However, he longed for the Valley and decided to relocate to be closer to his family. He says he missed the high tax rates, the woke liberal culture, and decriminalization swing in California, right? All of which, of course, is a joke, and especially since he says, please, could we not talk about politics today? Well, somehow he figured out the security code to KMJ's back door, and he's now a regular member of the morning crew. He's super excited to be working with the morning show, Christopher Gabriel, Greg Lane, Liz Kern, and the rest of the crew down there on the Fresno Morning News, maybe long before I'm awake. But more importantly, he is stoked to be home in his hometown of Clovis with his family and once again part of the community he grew up in. He plainly states it is good to be home. So here to tell us all about his adventures in life from KMJ's Morning News. It's the Morning News, what do you call it? Anchor, maybe?
News anchor.
News anchor, Randy James. Welcome, Randy.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, buddy.
Man, I'm telling you, this is a show place here.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for inviting me in to come chit-chat. I'm just so not used to talking about myself.
It's funny.
I'm usually talking about other people's, stories and stuff like that.
That's a common response I get from you guys, from the talk show hosts here at KMJ and from other people that have come from Channel 30 and our affiliates, etc. Is they're like, why do you want to talk to me? And we're usually talking about something else.
Right.
You shy that way?
Maybe not. Once you start talking to me, I'll look out.
Yeah, I don't take you as a shy guy, basically.
But it just talking about myself is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
hey,
it's okay.
Come on, listen, I did some research. You're an interesting dude.
Okay.
We have a lot in common.
Yeah, we do.
Including playing with Jim Dandy Mangrum from Black Oak, Arkansas.
Right. My band opened up for them a few years ago at Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Dallas.
Yeah, Gas Monkey Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
I was just in Dallas for the first time in ages at some club down in the seedy area.
Deep Ellum?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe the Bomb Factory? Or?
No, I'll look it up later on. I have it written down somewhere, but basically with Handsome Dick Manitoba. It was a great little scene, man. I sort of loved it.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Tower District on steroids.
Yeah. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, on steroids or on cow shit. You got to beep that out on cow, whatever, being there in Texas. Oh, too funny. Yeah, I'll find out where that place was in Dallas, man. But we had a great time down there with Handsome Dick Manitoba from the Dictators. All right, tell me, how long have you been at KMJ now that you've come back?
My first day on KMJ was November 6, 2023.
Wait a minute. November? You remember it's like your birthday. Was it that big of an event for you?
It really was, to be honest with you.
Why so?
Well, because the whole process of deciding to leave Dallas was pretty life-changing for everybody, including listeners back home.
Yeah.
Back home. I'm home now, but back in Dallas. But it was just, there was timelines. I had to give, where I gave notice to my host, and then basically gave him a 30-day notice, and then, had to get I had to get let out of my contract because my contract was coming up in 3 months. So there was just, and then, dealing with Blake and all the negotiations. So everything is, my last day on the air was Halloween, the 31st. November 1st, I got in my truck and came here.
Wow.
And my first day, wasn't on the air on the 6th. I was training with Liz, and my first day on the air, I think, was November 13th.
Let me ask you, because I don't know a whole lot about this world, even though I've been on the radio now for 4 or 5 years. What contract? To me, the radio, the hardest part about a lot of you guys is that at any day the format changes to country, or at any day that boss walks in and says, by the way, pack your bags, you're out of here, okay? Because I don't know, it's some weird thing.
Right.
Contracts in Texas or in radio, how long does a contract last for you guys?
Well, it depends.
Would you reveal how much your contract was? Not how much, how long it was?
2 years.
Okay, 2 year contracts.
I think that was probably the longest, and then they'd re-up.
So some stability as far as that's concerned.
A little bit. Okay. And if they decided to change formats and kick you out on your ear, they got to pay you.
Oh yeah, the little severance package there.
Yeah.
Okay, in Dallas, what was the name of the station in Dallas?
Lone Star 92.5.
And it was I remember playing that while I was there, right? Or listening to it.
It was classic rock.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And the whole 92.5 Lone Star thing came before that. It was 92.5 KZPS, the classic rock station.
Well, what was great about it is John and I were listening to it when we were traveling. God, by the way, from city to city in Texas, it's hours and hours, Marcella. I mean, but we were listening to that station going, oh, this is awesome stuff, because they were playing there's a difference between California radio and radio in those quote unquote flyover states. I love those flyover states radio. Is just down to earth, homegrown rock and roll.
But it's still, it's got that corporate feel.
Yeah, you had a bit of that.
Yeah. But oh well.
Hey, by the way, did I hit the post when I did my intro?
You did great.
Okay, perfect.
I was digging that bumper music.
That's my band.
Is it?
Yeah. I'll get you an album.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was digging it.
I just like to know from the DJ perspective or from the radio guy's perspective whether I hit that post.
Nice job.
Okay, thank you. I meet your approval. Thank you. Is coming back. Okay, so big station there. Was that one of the big top ones there?
Yeah. It was
the major one?
Yeah. I mean, there was other, there was a news talk stations that, kind of up and down, but for the most part, we were the kings. I mean, especially in the rock world. And
in Dallas, you got New York, LA, and pretty much Dallas, right? I mean, as far as major markets,
San Francisco's a major
San Francisco
market.
And
Chicago.
Other cities. But what I'm saying in Chicago, yes, exactly. But what I'm saying is that's the top level market.
Yeah, market number 5. I think it is.
Were you just done? I mean, what gets you to take off from a major market like that back to Fresno or Clovis?
Well, it has to do with missing my grandkids. And I actually started looking for California jobs when my grandson was 5, and he's 13 now.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I searched for California radio jobs. I would have went anywhere, just get into the state and be close enough to drive.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with KMJ happened was we were coming to California for the baby shower for my son and his girl's baby shower, and it was we had about a month and a half had already bought the tickets and planning on coming. And then a few weeks before I left, I saw on Indeed.com KMJ morning news anchor position. And I said, oh, my God, this is it. And so I scurried around and sent Blake. No, it didn't even send Blake. It sent it to the corporate office,
right?
Because it was a corporate deal. You have to the corporate
website. Yeah. You got to go through the proper channels.
And so I posted my air check and my resume, and I called Greg Lane because I've been friends with him, and I said, "Hey, do you know anybody at KMJ?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, Blake, you'll love him." Blah 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 blah.
So Greg pulled the strings for you, old Greg Lane over there.
A little bit. I think he just got Blake to go looking for my resume, but then it was all Blake.
We'll be back on with Randy James from the KMJ Morning News right after this. This is the Marc Kapetan Show on KMJ. This is KMJ at KMJNow.com or wherever you stream. Welcome back to the Marc Kapetan Show. Folks, you could catch all the KMJ shows if you miss one of the shows live. You could catch it on the KMJNow.com. KMJNow.com or the KMJ app. You have all the podcasts of all the shows. You could check out Fresno's Morning News with Randy James, who's our guest for today. You could check out E! and Philip Teresi and Ray Appleton and Christina Mousson and all the rest of them. So, all right, folks, back to Randy James. Hey, by the way, Arc Mediterranean Grill. We love, Marcella, do we love the Arc Mediterranean Grill? Yes. Marcella says yes, and when she says yes, that means it must be something fantastic. The Arc Mediterranean Grill, Marcella and I go there, and at one point they said we would love to sponsor you guys. So we really thank them for sponsoring because we love their food. Marcella, you love what is it? Chicken. Plate. Yeah, that's right. You get the chicken plate all the time. Their food is delicious. It's authentic Armenian food. Chicken kebabs, lulu kebabs, shish kebabs, melt in your mouth baklava. There's 2 locations, one Champlain and Shepherd in Fresno, the other one's Herndon and Armstrong in Clovis, and it's the Akisian brothers. We love the Akisian brothers. They are so nice to us and so gracious to us, and we thank them for their sponsorship. So go to the Arc Mediterranean Grill in Fresno or in Clovis, take some food for the family, take some takeout for the office, or take the office over there. So,
and one thing you forgot is the star of the show over there, the lamb chops.
The lamb chops are great. Yes. Thank you from Randy James, our guest for today from Fresno's Morning News. Randy James. In fact, it's so funny because I go to this little Thai restaurant, and next door is the Arc Mediterranean Grill in Clovis. And for years, I've been going there at the Arc Mediterranean Grill, and it took me about 3 or 4 months after they became our sponsors to realize that they had the 2 locations, and I had been going to the one all these years. So, love you guys. Okay, thanks. Randy James from Fresno's Morning News, news anchor over there. You had a big mentor in Texas, Bo
Roberts and Jim White. They were the Bo and Jim show.
The Bo and Jim show.
Mm-hmm. And when I first moved to Texas, I was a sales guy.
Yeah.
I was a sales guy here in Fresno, and I worked for Z-Rock here in Fresno. And
my favorite, but besides KMJ, let me preface that. Marcella's looking at me like, don't you dare. My favorite station ever here in Fresno.
Satellite delivered from Dallas, Texas. It was here in Fresno, 107.5. And the general manager that I worked for there got the job in Dallas and says, hey, you want to come work? And so I went over there and started, just driving around selling advertising, listening to the great KTXQ Q102 in Dallas. And that was the home of Bo and Jim. Bo and Jim had been on the air since 1982.
Right.
So they had been on the air for about 10 years when I got there, because I moved there in 92. So I was driving around listening to those guys stealing their advertising, going and calling on their clients and stuff. And, then just as it all came, I went to work for a radio network, MJI Broadcasting, and TM Century, which had a morning show service, and I would be like this. I was an affiliate relations guy, so I had stations all over the country that were my clients, and even right there in Dallas. So Bo and Jim, they subscribed to my service, and I went and met him one time to re-sign him up, new contract.
Right.
And so I met them then, but they didn't care who I was or anything like that.
Right.
And then came an opportunity for me to there was a radio, and I'd always done weekends at KEGL.
So you were doing both sides. You were doing the talent side and the sales side.
And I did that here at KKDJ, the Fresno's home of rock and roll. I did that too, but I was doing weekends, and there was a new station that came into town that was called 93.3 The Bone. And my friend, a sales guy, worked over there. He worked with me. What's up, Stanley? We worked together at Z-Rock when he was over there at the other Susquehanna. And so I said, well, he goes, you should get a tape and resume over here. Right. I'm thinking I'm going to go do an afternoon show or something like that. So I made the appointment with the guy. He wants to have lunch with me. Go have lunch, the program director. He goes, hey, I want to pair you up with Bo Roberts. And I'm like,
this legendary guy.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
And I've never done mornings before. I was a weekend jock on an active rock station.
Yeah.
And
and that's the prime spot for those rock and roll.
Yeah. And see what happened, Bo and Jim had gotten fired from their previous station. from KZBS. Well, anyway, they were supposed to go to that new station, 93.3 The Bone. Well, Jimmy still had a contract with...
you're literally paired up with just one of the legends.
With just one
there.
of them.
Yeah.
Jimmy wasn't part of the deal, so they brought me in.
So so before coming to KMJ, had you ever done any talk radio?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, I did just when I did the morning show with Bo on the Bone, I was kind of like the news guy.
Yeah.
But I did a few stories, but nothing heavy like this.
Yeah. And for you to come back to Fresno, Clovis area, and, if you're a radio guy, and folks, I don't know if you guys know this out there, but KMJ, one of the oldest stations in the country, potentially one of the oldest stations in the world, because it started basically the day that radio started. KMJ started because it was already an active frequency. Now 100 and I think like 5 years old, or maybe even a little bit older than that. To come back and to get a prime spot in the morning on this legendary station just has to be, for a radio guy, everything in the world, right?
It was. And in fact, I had always had this in my mind that, I had so much fun doing classic rock and all this stuff. And I thought to myself, well, whenever they're done with me, I want to do news. I want to be, I would go somewhere in a mountain community and sit there and do the news.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like always my goal to end my career. Doing news.
Are you a news junkie? Because that's one thing. I got to say, the hardest part. I filled in for Ray Appleton a few times and stuff. The hardest part is when I was in my 30s and 40s, I watched news all day long. I was on top of everything. I had an opinion about everything. And then somewhere around 50 something or other, I was just like, I can't take anymore. Right. So it's hard for me to sometimes go on and do a lot of the things that Ray and all you guys do, is because I'm just not up with, I can't have this instant recall of what happened last week and relate it to this week.
Right.
Have you always been a news junkie?
I think I have, but I think it was instilled to me a long time ago. My grandpa used to listen to KABC in Los Angeles, and I was always enamored with him, and he was always tinkering with radios and stuff like that. And so I think that was, I'm not really a politics guy, but I like news. I like broadcast news. I like radio news and television news. So it was kind of like a thing that I like, music, man, I had so much fun, but I really want to end up doing news. And
you in your bio basically stated that one of your not mentors, but one of the guys that you always looked up to, and I don't know if you listened to KMJ or talk radio when you were back in Texas, but there was a long time that you were gone. But one of the guys you immediately followed and picked up on is the fact that you knew about Ray Appleton and listened to Ray Appleton back in the day, and you loved him from way back in the day on KFIG, right?
Ray Appleton was a big part of my youth, and when we had a field trip, and I think it was in the 4th grade or something like that.
With Mr. Dave Lennon, or that was later on.
That was Clovis High. But I think it was at Sierra Vista. We did a field trip to the Del Webb building, and we were going to tour Y94. Which is now Kiss Country. Okay. And I saw the DJ behind the glass, and I'm like, oh my God, That's what I want to do.
It wasn't Ray, though, was it?
No, it wasn't Ray.
Okay.
But Ray did work at Y94.
Who was your teacher back in the 4th grade?
Mrs. Sturgill.
Miss Sturgill needs to be she needs to be reprimanded for taking any 4th graders to a radio station, because I don't know, that's not the greatest life lesson. No, I'm teasing.
But thank you, Mrs. Sturgill.
Thank you, Mrs. Sturgill. We'll be right back after this with Randy James from the Fresno's Morning News right here on KMJ. This is KMJ, and this is the Marc Kapetan Show. It's News Talk 580-1059 KMJ. Also KMJ at KMJnow.com or wherever you stream. Yeah, Randy, I like... listen, Randy. Here's Marcella's getting nervous. Randy, I actually like saying the old call letters. I mean, the old the frequencies and stuff like that. It's a nostalgic thing for me.
Absolutely.
Even though some people at KMJ are a little upset with me, but no, I'm teasing. Hey, this is the Marc Kapetan Show, folks. I want to talk to you about I want to turn the mic down because we are on with Randy James from KMJ, but a little bit about the Kapetan Brothers Law Firm. If you or anybody you know has been in an accident, I'm serious about this. My brother Peter is a great attorney. He really is. I got to say, I think I do a pretty darn good job myself, and I think there's about 30-something years of clients that will also tell you so. If you have been in an accident, sometimes it's a catastrophic accident, and you don't know what to do, you're injured, you're hurt, you don't know who to call, the best thing you could do is call our firm. Call any attorney, but please call our firm. We could really, help you out, but you could also help us out. And so do us a favor, do a friend a favor, and call the Kapetan Brothers Law Firm. We will ease your concerns. We'll get you on the right direction. If you have a good case, obviously we're going to take it. And we've made a lot of people a lot of money to compensate them for the pain that they went through. I'm not saying that they are getting some sort of great money for nothing. You're in pain and you deserve to be compensated. And we've had multi-million-dollar awards, and we could probably do the same for you and get you some compensation for your injuries. So 559-498-8000 Kapetan Brothers. All right, we are back on with Randy James from Fresno's Morning News. Randy, you are a Clovis-born guy, right?
Yes.
Grew up a little bit in San Antonio, though?
Well, I was actually born in Fresno, but grew up in Clovis from the age of 9. When I was born in Fresno, we had lived here for a few years.
Yeah.
We went to San Antonio. Right before we moved back here, I lived in Palmdale. Right. California, and my mom. It was about the time my mom and dad got divorced.
Yeah.
My dad stayed there in Southern California, and my mom, and my sisters, and I think one of my brothers. 3 of my brothers stayed there with him because they were older already. I'm the baby of the family.
You're the baby?
I'm number.
You're a pretty big baby there.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Number 7.
What did mom and dad do? Obviously, mom sounds like she was a good mom and a homemaker, right?
She was a single mom.
Yeah.
And single, hardworking mom. 7 kids. She had 7 kids.
Single mom.
Within 10 years. Well, she wasn't single all that time.
Yeah, right.
Just by the time I was 9, that's when they got divorced. And then her and my 2 sisters right above me moved here. And my mom worked for various places. She was an interpreter for the state of California.
Where? I mean, in the courthouse?
No, it was with a disability. She worked for state disability.
I was wondering if I would have known her.
No. Yeah. And then...
and Dad?
I don't know what he was, like a traveling salesman. And I'm really not sure.
You know what? The one question that I failed to ask, which I always ask my clients, is, we'll talk a little bit about the early life, mom and dad. Any problems there? And I think I get Marcella. We got to remember to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't really remember much of that.
So your influence was your mom.
Yeah, pretty much. And
wonderful.
She's a Mexican lady, and my dad was a white guy.
Yeah, those dirty white guys. Yeah, they leave the family.
So I grew up in Clovis when from Clovis on. I mean, from 9 years old on, I stayed in Clovis.
Clovis High. What year?
1980.
Oh, you're older than I am.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
When did you graduate?
82.
Oh yeah, my sister-in-law graduated from
Clovis West, though.
Yeah. Clovis High was Clovis West was our graduating class was the first graduating class of Clovis.
Yeah.
Because when we left Clark in the 9th grade, half of them went to Clovis West, and so Clovis West they only had the 10th grade.
That's all we had. I
11th.
started the first year that it was 10th grade. 10, 11, and 12.
But by the time you graduated, there had already been 2 graduating classes.
Right. So I was the full first graduating class from 10, 11, 12, and then there was a full graduating class from 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
Yeah, after me.
And so I graduated in 80. And
do you know the Sotelo family?
Yes.
Jackie Sotelo?
Jackie.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And
her brother's my drummer, John Sotelo.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Man, I heard John had gone down to L.A. and was
He
recording
did,
for a long
dude.
time.
Yeah, he was there until the day of the earthquake. And when the earthquake happened, he had a fully gassed up car, and he said, "Honey, we're taking off. We're never coming back." Yeah.
I haven't seen Jackie in years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see them all the time. So
tell them I said hello.
I sure will. You could tell them right now. Randy James says hi.
Hello.
Okay, so radio wasn't a thing you fell into. I understand in Clovis High, you took a broadcast class?
I did from the 10th grade, because I started there in the 10th grade, 10th, 11th, and 12th. I took the advanced broadcasting class with Dave Lennon. We used to call him Uncle Dave, and we used to produce a weekly TV show that aired on Channel 53.
Really?
Yeah, it was called Cougar Spotlight. And,
I may remember that.
And we did, and I understand. I never stepped foot on Clovis West, but I understand Clovis West had a kind of like a mirror image of our broadcast, but maybe nicer stuff.
Listen, Clovis West people would say that you guys had a mirror image of theirs. Yeah, we had for back then. It was a pretty. It was a pretty significant,
pretty state of the art.
State of the art.
I mean, we had those robot cameras and stuff, and we would produce a show every week called Cougar Spotlight, and we would take the tape, a U-matic videotape, over to Channel 53, and it would air on Saturday nights at 6.
My buddy Bob Jenkins he worked for Channel 53 I think from beginning to end, man. Yeah. So, and he would always say, "You got to come and hang out and do a show or something like that," and I never did.
They were out there in the sticks somewhere.
In the sticks, which is now the center of Fresno, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's too funny. All right, so let's talk real quick about what was the name of the Z-Rock?
Z-Rock.
Dude, was that the greatest?
It was.
Station ever.
It was awesome. Mad Max Hammer and Dave Bolt, and man. And I met all those dudes because I went back because I ended up being there in Dallas. In fact, they were broadcast out of the ABC radio network. There in Dallas on the 24-hour formats. So they had an AC station, they had a country station, they had a classic rock station, and I ended up doing weekends on the classic rock format.
Listen, all I know is it fed every band in our rock and roll club, the Cadillac Club, back in the day.
That was yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Are you guys the ones that brought Guns N' Roses?
We brought Guns N' Roses.
In like 91?
Yep. Peter Frampton, Eddie Money.
Oh, man.
One of my favorite Z-Rock bands, Love Hate.
Oh,
Great band.
Yeah. Jizzy Pearl was the singer.
Yep. And we're bringing Johnny Love back, and my brother John's bringing him back in a couple months here, I think.
Cool.
From Love Hate. So all that Z-Rock stuff. Wife rock and roller with you?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Julie.
Julie, that's right.
She's a hard rocker.
I heard you guys also love watching crime shows and comedy shows.
Man, that's what we do, TV, crime shows, and NASCAR. I mean, we're always recording the NASCAR race so we can kind of speed play through the commercials and stuff. But
I'll tell you, as a criminal defense attorney, I could never watch crime shows. I hate it when everybody.
Really?
When everybody was watching that. What was that old show about lawyers and then the reality crime shows? I could never watch. And then all of a sudden, Netflix. I watched one. And so Netflix says, "Oh, you must love this stuff." And so it kept on feeding me crime shows. Now I watch them all. Oh, it just drives me crazy that I have to work and then go home and be entertained by the.
Yeah, when I was in Texas, we got instilled into that. NASCAR got instilled in me because I did so much at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah. We're going to talk about Texas Motor Speedway, rock and roll, bass playing. We're going to geek out on bass playing and equipment right after this. This is Randy James from the Fresno's Morning News which if you want any news from Fresno in the morning, you listen to KMJ and Fresno's Morning News with Christopher Gabriel, Randy James, Liz Kern, Greg Lane, all those guys, man. Love it. I actually listen to it. Swear to God, every morning I do.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this on the Marc Kapetan Show. This is KMJ. This is KMJ at KMJNow.com or wherever you stream. Hey, folks, Arc Mediterranean Grill. We love the Arc Mediterranean Grill. It is authentic Armenian cuisine brought to you by the Akizian brothers. These guys know how to make Mediterranean food. Armenian food, we like to say. If you're Greek, you like to say Greek food. But listen, pick up some food for your office, some takeout, take some home. They got great kebabs. And the Randy James from the Fresno Morning News loves their lamb chops.
Yes, I do.
Yep. Hummus, baklava for dessert. Authentic Armenian goodness brought to you by the Akizian brothers. It's Arc Mediterranean Grill. 2 locations, one in Fresno, one in Clovis. Thanks for being our sponsor, Arc Mediterranean Grill. We love you guys.
And they got a nice smoky baba ganoush.
They have a smoke. It's funny that you say that. Are you... You're full-blooded Mexican and part white.
I'm
part white, right?
Half
right.
Mexican and half Caucasian.
But the fact that you recognize that, yeah.
Oh, I love me some Mediterranean food.
But the smoky baba ganoush, it has to have that smokiness to it.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, you're right, and they make a great baba ganoush.
They do.
Yeah, good for you. All right, Randy, we're going to go out there after this and have some Arc Mediterranean Grill. Okay. Hey, all right. So let's geek out a little bit. You are a bass player, been in cover bands, and I'm assuming because of your time at Z-Rock and all these radio stations and playing bass and opening up for some, bigger live bands, you've met a ton of rock and roll stars. Like who?
And that's probably a function of the radio being
more so.
Yeah, being in the classic rock deal. Steven Tyler was one of the memorable ones that came to. It was right before he got signed the contract to be on American Idol.
Oh yeah,
they brought him into the studio and we recorded it. It was like after our morning show. But one of the things I remember him talking about was how he was talking to. Was it Joey Kramer?
Joey Kramer, the drummer.
Yeah, he was talking to him about how come they don't get up in the morning and go visit radio stations like they used to. Remember back in the day, you would turn on your favorite show and there's a big rock star in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he made point to make a point of saying how cool it was that he was going to the radio station
and showing that he was always a promoter and was willing to work for his craft, basically, or earned his money.
Yeah, Billy Gibbons was a good one too. We had lunch with Billy Gibbons at a Mexican restaurant. They were out there promoting their Pura Vida tequila.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
everybody's got a tequila company now.
Yeah, and a couple backstage things I saw him at.
Humble Guys?
Oh yeah. Dusty was really cool.
You got to meet him.
Yeah. We talked
about the late great, right?
Yeah, late great Dusty Hill, and we had a little discussion about the debate about 5-string and 4-string basses.
There is no 5-string bass.
That's what he said. He goes, all you need is 4 strings.
Oh, he did? Yeah, absolutely. I agree wholeheartely. And tell me right now, because you're a bass player, you have a 5-string bass, right?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Good.
I had 2 of them, and I sold them.
Yeah.
No.
That's like a 5-string bass is like 3 strings too many.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
I mean, the little B is cool once in a while, but you're only really getting 3 extra notes.
Who was it? What band was it? They had a horn, they had a saxophone, blah, blah, blah. And the guy literally played a 2-string bass, and you're like, yeah, right, that's enough.
I don't know.
Are you a Fender guy, or are you a...
Yes. Yeah. I've drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Sorry, folks, we're talking bass stuff, which bores everybody.
Yeah. I've got 3 Fender basses. Yeah. The one I really play a lot now is the 66 American Vintage 2 jazz bass.
Well, you will have fun coming over to my house because I got a few.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
and I have the Fender Super Bassman.
Oh yeah, great amp,
300 watt.
Okay, we're boring people now. But one last question: fingers or pick?
Fingers.
Oh, you're a real bass player. Oh yeah. No, folks, he's a real bass player then.
Well, not really. I'm self-taught. I fool a lot of people a lot of times, and I'm really, my kid thinks I'm pretty good, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many kids do you have?
One.
The one kid, and he has all these grandkids now.
Three
grandkids.
Yeah. And my son Raymond is in 2 bands.
Yeah.
He's in like a 90s cover band called 30 Minute Download. And then he plays drums for a country act named Joshua Michael.
Yeah.
They play around town. He's always gigging.
So he plays bass and drums?
No, he plays drums.
Oh, just drums, yeah.
He's a drummer. I'm the bass player.
Oh, good. May have to talk to him. So a band is always looking for a drummer. Yeah. You go through drummers like mad. Although my buddy John Stella has been with us for about 40 years, so I love the guy. Other great stars. Sammy Hagar, you did shots with Sammy Hagar, right?
Yeah, Sammy Hagar, he got that tequila Santo Blanco.
Yes, yeah.
Him and Guy Fieri, and we were doing a promotion where he sang the national anthem at a NASCAR Cup race.
Yeah,
and we had the chance to meet with him and do a little interview with him up in one of the suites. And he goes, "You guys want some tequila?" So he goes behind the bar and pours out some shots for me and Bo. And Jimmy didn't have any.
Folks, the benefits of being a radio guy. Once again, Mr. Lennon and Miss whatever her name was from 4th grade. Shame on you guys for getting these kids into this.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun to be in the music world.
Absolutely.
In the music radio world.
I got to say, listen, I got my law side and I got my music side, and they've both been great to me. Mm-hmm. One of them, obviously, financially has been great, but the other side is what just gets me through the day sometimes, is the music side, to be able to relax and get rid of the stress. I've always said playing in a band, playing or practicing for an hour or two is like running 5 or 10 miles to me. Just relieves the stress of the world, basically.
Yeah, I love playing.
Yeah. Of course, you're in music all the time, so you don't have any stress in the world, do you?
No,
I'm teasing.
not at all.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but I do like the difference, the dichotomy of reading the news and being on a news talk station, and then going home and plugging in.
Which, by the way, you and your team there won a Golden Mike Award?
Dude, that is my first ever radio award. Fresno's Morning News, the award-winning. I'm an award-winning news anchor.
You are award-winning news anchor.
How great is that?
We're going to walk around KMJ and just say, hey, have you seen Randy James? The award-winning news guy. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's awesome. It feels good. You pay back. It's great, and I just thought about it, is you actually left a major market, came back to Fresno, which is still a major market, but one of the number one markets, Dallas, Texas. You come back to pay back, or at least to be back with your community and your family, and you get this great award, basically.
Yeah, I would come home for Christmas and stuff, and it just got harder and harder to go back to Texas.
Yeah.
And then I see the kids on the FaceTime. We FaceTime just about every day, and I said, "Man, I need to be home."
Yeah,
and I need to give all this up because, dude, listen, I was a motorcycle. I was like in the motorcycle world there. I went to Sturgis a few times. I have a local Harley Davidson dealership. I endorsed, and I walked away from a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
and all those connections you made there all those years.
But to be back home and just drive down Shaw, drive down Blackstone, and
to be one of the voices of KMJ, to receive a Golden Mike Award for it.
Right. And I've always known, I knew KMJ.
Yeah.
I think John Brodsky was the general manager at the time.
Yeah,
but
John.
I just can't say enough how happy I am to be here.
There you go. I should end on that, but I have to end on one last thing while we're playing this music out.
What's that?
You met my favorite guys, Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Who'd you meet from Kiss?
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons.
You met Paul and Gene?
Yeah, together.
Where was that?
At their restaurant that they license, Rockin' Brews.
Wait a minute, down in Cabo?
No.
Oh, they have one down in Cabo too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one is at the LA.
Everybody
airport.
I know has met Gene, and I haven't. So one of these days. All right, Randy James from Fresno's Morning News with Chris Gabriel and Randy James and all the rest of the crew down there. Thanks for being on the show, buddy.
Man, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
We will see you next week on the Marc Kapetan Show. Thanks to my wonderful producer Marcella Solorio Taylor. We'll see you next week. This is KMJ.